Hello everybody and welcome to this video about epic percussion. Is that going to happen every time I hit something? Maybe it is. It is. What I thought I'd do in this video is to look at some of the main libraries which people use to create those kind of thunderous trailer tracks and things like that. So we'll be looking at two libraries from Heaviosity, Damage and Master Sessions. We'll be looking at Storm Drum 3 from East West. We'll be looking at Hans Zimmer, the first edition of Hans Zimmer, my original first edition of Hans Zimmer percussion from Spitfire. We'll be looking at a really interesting new library from Laboratory Audio called Strikeforce, which I'm a big fan of, and something else. Oh yeah, Apocalypse from Soundarm, which is another one I really like. So look, let's get on and have a look at... There's somebody at the front door. Let's see who could that possibly be. Blow me down, it's Hans Zimmer. Who would have thought it? Why don't you come inside? So why don't you stand there, Hans, and because it's a really good thing actually you've turned up today, because we're talking about epic cinematic percussion, and I think that's something you know quite a lot about. How do you feel about that?
I think that's really exciting.
I think it's very exciting as well. So look, where are we going to start?
Do you have the ideas or don't you have the ideas?
I have got ideas. It's all right, Hans. I have ideas. We'll be fine. Don't worry. Okay, just before we begin, let me just quickly explain. What we're not doing today is an in-depth technical review. What we're going to be doing is just loading up some of my favorite epic percussion libraries straight out the box, just as you would if you just bought them, and playing a few bars and recording some stuff, warts and all, so you can see what it's like to get the thing home and to just sit down and get going. So it's not going to be sort of every last detail, but it's more impressionistic. It'll give you a strong idea of what the individual style of each of these instruments is really like. Okay, let's start by looking at Storm Drum. It comes as part of this is Storm Drum 3, the third what am I trying to say? Not incarceration. Incarnation, the third incarnation. Oh, what? Sorry, I'm slightly overwhelmed, a bit starstruck, of this venerable program from East West. It comes as part of Composer Cloud, as I mentioned, so for those of you who are paying your whatever it is a month, then it's there and it's raring to go. So, and it's a really good place to start. Look, I've just put a very simple little line in here. Have a listen. This is the big Dragon Ensemble, which is their sort of big hit thing. So it's big and epic, but they do quite a lot of these smaller pieces. The Balinese. I find those really, really useful, because just having great big hits doesn't really do it. You need all the other bits and pieces to make it more more interesting and exciting. What's this one? Lots of middle-sized drums. This is middle-sized. It's 4-foot Daiko. Lots of variation, lots of round robins. Round robins obviously really important with percussion. It's a very clean, very close sound. It's not one of these huge ambient sounds. I find it really useful for adding those little top lines. It's got some really useful little performances in, like this one, which is, what's that one? That is the Log Jammer. Originally, and it tempo syncs, because that was recorded at 115 beats per minute, and we're playing it back at 150. Good grief! So, if you are just starting out with Composer Cloud, this is an absolutely fantastic library. You can go a long way with this. But one of the things you will hear as we go through these libraries is they do have a very distinctive flavor of their own. All of them are, whether you're playing the big drum or the small drum, there is a sort of house sound. And that's why having more than one of these libraries is a really good thing, because it means that you can sort of reduce that reliance on, so it doesn't just sound straight out of the box. Hans, which of the, I know you do your own libraries, but which of the main commercial libraries are you most fond of? Do you like the Heaviosity stuff, Damage and Master Sessions? Okay. What about East-West Storm Drum? Have you tried Strikeforce, the new library from Laboratory Audio? Ah. Okay. What about Hans Zimmer Percussion from Spitfire Audio?
I think that's really exciting.
Do you know, I thought he might find that exciting. Here's an important message from our sponsor, which is me. Do you want your samples to sound like this? Or like this? Well, download our free... Oh. Well, what you should do is download my quick start guide to sampled orchestration, the 7 essential techniques everybody needs to make their sample sound better. It's packed with information and top tips. All you have to do is click the link underneath this video and it'll come whizzing to an inbox near you. Now, back to Epic Percussion. Let us move on and look at good old Damage. I say good old Damage because I don't think I know many people who don't have it, but that's not it. Here is Damage. You have, like most of these libraries, you have some preset loops and you have kits. I always prefer the kits because it really doesn't take very long to program and stuff, and it's all your own. This is probably one of the more famous ones you probably recognize straight out the box, which is a Studio Armageddon ensemble. It's got a nice sort of crisp thwack to it. It's got an interesting sort of house style. It is quite ambient here. Okay, so look, you've got EQs and filters and all the rest of it, mainly, but you've got an awful lot of really cool drums. Where's the concert bass drum? That's cool. I mean, I have these loaded up all the time as part of my... That's pretty good. I really like that one. I use that quite a lot. What else have we got here? Studio kicks. The plastic one's quite cool. It's got, I like that. The ethnic drums are really good as well. For that sort of, okay, I'll show you. Hang on. That was as badly played as anything on the face of the planet. Right, with the bass drums, when you add the bass drums, bear in mind the bass drums, don't try and play them too fast, or it just doesn't work. Okay, sounded right. And then you can add, some. What else are we going to have? We'll have one more thing. How about some metals? Let's see what the metals are like. I know what they're like. Dumpster, oil can, metal menu too small. Okay, I'm going to go metal menu too small because I'm just like... What I quite like doing, I don't know about you, is, you can see we've got 16th notes, more or less, except I screwed up there. Slow on these ones. Now there's probably room in here for some sort of syncopated eighth notes or something. Now I'd argue that by the time you've chosen a loop, you could have done that. Okay. Damage is an absolute staple, and it's been my go-to for many years, and I love it. The other one, let me just quickly look at the other one from Heaviosity while we're here, which is Master Sessions. Master Sessions has a very different flavor. But it lays in really well with the others. It's got a lovely thwack to it. It's quite dull. This is the ensemble drums, but they also do ensemble metals and ethnic ensembles, which are all really, really good. They have a very nice individual ensembles. What do we like? Let's have a look at Snares off. I really like snares off. Yeah, it's something.
Do you have the ideas or don't you
I
have
have
the
got
ideas?
ideas. I have got ideas. Oh dear. Honestly, really, really. I know it all sounds very at the moment. Okay, so you can pitch it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Medium rubbish. But actually, when you start layering these things in together, what happens if we take all these mutes off? It's going to sound rubbish. Yes, it sounds rubbish. What did you expect, Guy? I don't know, you can't just turn them all at once. You know, it's like putting custard and roast beef and ice cream and pizza all on the table at the same time. It's not a good idea. Right, let's get down to Strikeforce, because Strikeforce is brand new. Well, I say brand new, it may have been around a while. It's brand new to me. I hadn't come across it until the other day. It's a very distinctive library. It's very stylized, hybrid, synthetic, but it's got a really full range of sound. So you can start with these epic low drums. It's very ambient as well. I really like the UI. And you can change, if you watch this bit over here, you can go from close to, so when I say ambient, this is close, okay? This is the close one. It's a really, okay, tell you what, let's just do this, it's the best way. That is what you should not do. Playing these things in too loud, because look, look at that. That's the problem. Actually, most drums sound best when they're played in mezzo forte. So just turn it up. That's a very nice sound. It's a very sophisticated piece of software, this, actually. If you look at the round-robin resets and all that kind of malarkey, that you've got a great deal of control over this. Velocity response, I'm really keen on this. So many libraries, whether you thump the thing with a sledgehammer or you hit it with a feather, they come out sounding more or less the same. Whereas if you can adjust these things, it makes a huge difference. You've got a lot of control over the panning and that malarkey, and you can even adjust the sample start. But I suspect most people will just go, yeah, okay, I'm just going to load it up. So that's exactly what we're doing. So let's try. I really like the small drum. Which one was I using the other day? Tiny Tom's, I think it probably was. Let's see if it. Yeah, that's a very nice little sound. Here, let's. Okay, now what you can do, that was just going in eighths. I'm quite a big fan of using the drum editor with Epic Percussion because okay, now we can just draw in some extra little beats. So we can have a see, that kind of thing. Okay, and instantly you can sort of listen to to that variation on those little round robins. Nearer, further away. I like that. I really like that. So again, but you see what I mean about it having a very distinctive flavour? Very, very useful. When you first play it, you think, oh, it's slightly different, and how am I going to get to use that? But actually, the more you play with it, the easier it gets. And let's have a little, I haven't played with a sizzle drum. What do you think a sizzle drum does? It's not that one, it's... Well, it's a sizzle drum. It sizzles. What do you expect? Megaloon Red? I don't think I can go home without having had Megaloon Red go. I tell you what it's also very useful for, and that is doing little bits of sound designery type stuff. So if you bounce it out, I may live to regret this. Here we go. Okay, turn it into a piece of audio, render in place, render becomes screw, choo, bonk, out it comes. Then you run it backwards, and then you can start. These sort of sounds can be really useful. You know, just that at the beginning is useful. Because it's not really a reverse cymbal, but it's... And then you beef up the bottom end, and because actually these... You know, you can go on like that all day, can't you? Trouble is, once I start doing this, and I'm sure it's the same for you, isn't it, Hans?
I think that's really exciting.
Yeah. I know. It's really hard to sort of stop because you want to keep going, keep tweaking things. And I mean, but as you say, I mean, it's all about...
Do you have the ideas or don't you have the ideas?
Well, precisely, exactly. That was my point indeed. You took the words right out of my mouth. Okay. What have we looked at? We looked at damage. We've looked at master session. Oh, Apocalypse. Okay. Apocalypse is interesting. It does this. Well, it does a lot of things, but the thing I find it most interesting for is it allows you to mix and match. So you can, for example, load up, let's have a bass drum ensemble here. So that's the sort of sound. That's pretty typical of Apocalypse. And you can layer into that. Let's have another one. We'll have, I don't know, what you'll have. Oh. Now, in a world where where you get really used to the same sound of the same drums all the time, this is really cool because every combination of flavor you come up with is going to be different, and that's a really, really good thing. It does all the normal stuff. But you can do a lot of other bits and pieces with it as well. And I really like the Mega Mixer thing. Let's have a look at another one. This is the ethnic ensemble. Here it goes. Again, I like it. I use it all the time. But you can hear how when you layer this stuff together. Okay. Too loud. Sorry, Hans. and you spoil it. Then you go and spoil it all. Look how loud this stuff is. It's ridiculous. You don't want it that loud. Look, you get a much more fruity sound, as my friend Francis Shaw would say, fruity, by playing them softer and then just mixing them better. So, okay. Oh, silly old me. Did I forget one of the libraries? Have I not mentioned one rather important one? Now look, I've had this since day one, and my copy is really old. And when I looked at the website, it looks very much as though they've completely revamped the interface, which is, which is great. Good. I'm delighted. This is my interface, which is, I think, probably the original one. Unless it's updated. I honestly don't know. But the main point is, that the sound is very distinctive. There's a ton of really different sounds in here, which you just don't find anywhere else. So now, and this is the other thing. We were talking about the importance of, okay, let's just listen to the room mic. When you just listen to the room mics, it's a bit, what's that? But it's really important with this library to mix these the mic positions. This is close. This is room, and this is the surround mics. Now, when you put those three together, it's a very, very good sound. But you do need to mix them and really play with that sound and get a sound which is distinctive to you, not just. And that's also why I think with the Hans Zimmer stuff here, you also get lots of different mixes by different people, and it's a tribute to the way they've done it that bucket hits. Oh yeah, I quite like bucket hits. I remember using bucket hits. You see what I mean? It's very ambient, but then you bring the close in. And it's much more usable. Ah! Hang on, I think we've probably got everybody coming for tea at the same time. We have. Go away. I don't want you to go away, but go away, go away. I'm not talking to you, obviously.
I think that's really exciting.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. It is exciting. Okay, let's. Okay. Okay, let's put another sound in. We'll have exotic hits. The only thing I find about the Hans Zimmer one actually is I find it really difficult to work out where everything is. Because it's not illogical, it's just very different. Actually, I'm not feeling the love for that one. I'm going to change it. High taco. Okay. So I'm going to put that in place of the exotic hits. Right, that's one which is very ambient. So that's lovely. I think that's all right. Look, you can see how this works, can't you? Good work, Hans. Good work. I think What do you think of that?
I think that's really exciting.
I had a feeling you would. I had a feeling you would. So that is just about it. Let me just thank our special guest. Have you enjoyed today? Have you found it particularly, I don't know?
Exciting.
Oh, exciting, yes. So if you've enjoyed this little video, then please remember to click the subscribe button down below. There's also a link in the notes down below to WAV files of all the bits of audio we've done today. And if you want the 20-page 7 essential techniques for making your samples sound more realistic, then click the link and go to the form, and we will send that invaluable piece of literature whizzing to your inbox. But from me and my two-dimensional friend, goodbye. We'll see you again very soon.